Now then lads, and welcome back. I like the Kretz P13. This is a gun that I've wanted to do a video about pretty much since it came out, and it's such a, like a weird weapon concept that I just kind of have to love it. Anyway, if you have any weapons or vehicles you want to see me cover, let me know in the comments below, and with that out of the way, let's just get straight into the history of the Kretz P13. So, what the hell is the Kretz P13? Well, the year is 1913, and the British Empire wants a brand new self-loading rifle. So this Hungarian chap called Franz Kretz comes along and decides to turn a regular pattern 19 Enfield into a, let's say for the sake of simplicity, a semi-automatic rifle. However, he decides to go ahead and make it in a special way. You see, if you read the description of the Kretz in the hangar on Enlisted, you'll see that it says, shares some features with a bicycle. Now obviously, there's not a lot in common with typical guns and typical bicycles, but what that directly means here is that Kretz decided to, use a bicycle chain to pull the bolt back using the force of the muzzle blast. So this is a bolt conversion that essentially uses a bike chain to work, that is also supposed to be, effective. Not to mention the bike chain itself is exposed to the elements. Great. Anyway, the Kretz gets submitted to trials with the British Army who, for some apparent reason, don't want it. It may have something to do with the fact it uses a bike chain, and can't be taken apart. Also, it's apparently so complex that the one that the Royal Armouries in Leeds have has literally never been fired. So the gun is not only a complete enigma in terms of design, but is also an enigma in terms of how it functions, if it's good, because no one actually shot it. Well, I suppose I should go and test it then, shouldn't I, to see what it's like, eh? The stats of the Kretz are some of the most intriguing of any gun in Enlisted. It is a semi-automatic rifle that does 23.3 damage and uses the same sort of damage model that you'd typically expect from a manual action rifle, and it's BR2. So that makes this gun single-handedly the most powerful BR2 semi when compared to its contemporaries in the game. Cry your heart out type, hey? It may only have 5 rounds and have a fairly slow rate of fire, but with its incredibly high damage, I somehow don't think that's going to be much of an issue. So in terms of stats, this thing seems pretty good, but how does it actually play? Well, it plays incredibly well. We can see these start with the positives, since I've got kind of a lot to say here. Firstly, the high damage combined with the semi-auto nature of the gun allow the Kretz to essentially fill whatever role you need it to. It is the jack of all trades for BR2 allies. You can use it to pick off targets at long ranges, designed for bolts, or you can clutch close quarters kills while storming the point. The damage and the rate of fire both allow you to do that. You just have to make sure in CQC, you actually get your shots off first and you aim well. Another benefit is that you can get pretty easy squad wipes with this thing. If you catch someone off guard or with their pants down, you can kill nearly their whole squad before they can really react fully. So that's, a huge benefit if you're storming, say, rally points or APCs. Your ability to dish out high damage faster than your opponent also helps you in sniper duels. This is all backed by the fact that you have 20 extra rounds compared to a bolt as well, which is really helpful. Typically, you'd only have 30 if you're using one of the Enfields, or 25 if you're using a more typical Springfield. So this means that your ammo economy, assuming you actually hit your shots, is really good, because it should pretty much last all the way until you die. And hell, if you've got an engineer in your squad, then you can just stick one of them down and hey presto, But, there's one final benefit of the Kretz, and I think this is the most subjective, but it just feels good to use. Like, it's a fun gun with a fun story, it uses a bike chain, it looks really cool, it feels cool to use, it's just there. The vibes with this gun just hit perfectly, especially compared to a lot of the other sort of BR2 bolts they have. I think overall then, yeah, this is a nice weapon. However, it's not perfect. There is one feature that I don't like, and it's the fact that it doesn't have a bayonet. Which is a shame, because the gun does have a bayonet lug, so assuming you got a P13 Enfield bayonet, it should attach. So maybe that would mess with the bike chain, though? I don't know. Though I suppose it would not have a bayonet because, you know, it's so good and that would make it literally just a straight upgrade to all the BR2 rifles, which probably wouldn't be too good since it is a battle pass weapon. Now, that's not a bad thing, but getting a hold of one of these is kind of difficult. So, like, yeah, like, how are you going to get it? Like, I mean, there's the boxes, but that chance is really low. Though it was in the recent D-Day event as an allied reward, which was pretty cool. So, yeah, sure, the lack of a bayonet and the rarity is kind of sad, but given how good the Kretz is, I don't think I'll worry about it that much. Overall then, my verdict on the Kretz P13 is that it's a really good rifle, and one of the best guns for its class and BR. Go figure. The 23 damage semi is a really good gun. I could not have seen this coming. Anyway, I would highly recommend the Kretz, and therefore I give it a 9 out of 10 for just being a really solid gun. Anyway, if there's anything else you'd like to see me cover, such as guns, vehicles, even an event squad in Enlisted, let me know in the comments, and well, with that said, thank you very much for watching this video, and goodbye.